Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Live. We are still joined via Zoom by Ntombizodwa, who will be telling us more about her book titled Rising Above Toxicity. Ntombizodwa, thank you so much for joining us on Prime Live this evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Please tell us about what inspired you to, write a book titled, Rising Above Toxicity, and how much of the story reflects real life scenarios that you have witnessed or have experienced?
Thank you so much. Firstly, I decided to write about the story because this is one of the topics that a lot of people encounter. We live in a world where toxicity is real. People do understand that they can wake up in the morning and go to work thinking that they will have a normal day at work, but they end up just coming back not feeling okay. Disturbed perhaps, or many a times you just know that something is not okay. And one of the biggest reasons that the book was written is because it affects the mental health of a person. Personally, this connects to me very well. So when we speak about how connected it is to me, or how does it relate, how real it is, this is stories that are real. It is my journey that I speak about. It is other people's journey that I tap into also. So it's more of a real journey about toxicity in a workplace environment.
That's a very, very interesting topic to speak on. And the book centers on moral decision making in, workplace. Why did you feel that it was important to write about the ethics in professional settings, especially now?
As a leader, I believe everyone is a leader first of all. As a leader, because I'm currently a leader and I lead people, I realized that one of the gaps that we have in the work environment is not understanding or not seeing the importance of decision making. Decision making means even if we make a decision based on the business, we need to also consider the people that are in the business.
That's interesting. Now, Ntombi in the book faces complex challenges. What qualities in her reflect what you believe great leaders should embody today?
Firstly, I think the people's skill. I believe that the quality of understanding the people is very important. We overlook the reality of just the understanding of people. I think many leaders, when we engage with people, we tend to think that it's just about managing somebody, supervising someone, supervising an employee, and the real core is understanding who that person is, how they live their life in order to be successful in business.
I want to come back to your statement that you believe that everybody is a leader. What makes you say that? Because in a lot of instances, people would say that leaders are not born. Some are like leaders are born, or a person has to earn leadership. What makes you say that statement that everybody is a leader?
Remember that when you are born, you lead your life. And the purpose of life initially is to lead other people. Whether being in your family, in your community, at work, reality is you are either born a leader or you can become a leader by upskilling yourself. So the statement that I'm making is to say everyone is a leader. I believe that if one finds the right direction, firstly being mentored, they can become the leader that they want to be. And being mentored doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be mentored from only in your work environment. You need to be mentored from home, perhaps. You need to be mentored from your community in order to bring that back when you get to the work environment. So just to answer the question, I do believe everyone is a leader in life.
Mm. Um, and in terms of coming back to workplace toxicity, what are the most common toxic traits or toxic behaviors that are seen in workplaces, and that actually go maybe sometimes even unnoticed, and the type of toxic behaviors that can actually, affect the morale and the behavior of employees?
I think the first one would be victimization, which is the biggest because people don't tend to understand that at that moment I'm being victimized. Being victimized means, um, for example, someone would be victimized in a way where they speak about your culture, they speak about your religion, or who you are as a person, and that on its own, just when I have to, looking at the book, the journey of Ntombi, you can see that she was victimized, and the victimization doesn't just come from leaders, employees, it comes from different aspects, and she had to work on it. She had to find a way to say, how do I face reality and wake up in the morning to say, I'm here to start my job. I'm here to wake up, which became such a big um, such a big thing, or challenge with her. And another one is bullying. I think currently we are all facing one of the biggest things where bullying is a norm these days. Whether in the outside world of employment, it is a big norm, and people take it lightly. And unfortunately, it ends up challenging someone or a particular individual mentally. And in the book, I also speak about the mental health, how you can overcome that, tips on how you can control your emotions if you are being bullied, how to step away from that situation and try to regain yourself, and what help to find the resources and all kind of things.
Mm. Let's talk about, obviously, when you write the book, most importantly, you are the first one that is taking lessons from it, since you are the one that has written it and it's based on experiences and things that you have actually gone through. Let's talk about how it has affected your leadership skills, or how it has helped you to become a great leader.
Firstly, I just want to say, being a leader growing up in the industry I'm in the hardware industry. I'm in retail and in the hardware industry, where it's very competitive, and most of the time people still have the stigma of men are better than women, and we have to prove ourselves. In leadership, just writing about the book has challenged me and opened my eyes, number one, into understanding that I was in situations, because I worked in different companies, where I most of the time didn't even understand that I'm 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 under the scope of toxicity, because many a times we do not see toxicity as toxicity. We are afraid to face it. We are afraid to actually engage in it with either our leaders or other employees. We sometimes tend to think it's more of politics than toxicity, and you have to draw the line when you can see that it's starting to drain me emotionally, it's starting to get to me, and maybe I can't wake up in the morning, or I'm thinking about it. So with that being said, when I wrote the book, the whole purpose was to actually touch people's life, be able to reach out, because I started understanding that sometimes when you are in a situation, you don't necessarily see the whole point. But as soon as you step out of the situation and just realize and just look at everything in a different view, you get to understand that you might just need help or assistance. And I think in many a times, only when something happens, that's when it hits you that there's something wrong. I need help, or I need to seek help, or I need to speak, because when I started writing the book, it was just about expressing myself. But as I was writing, I started understanding that there's other values that I have, other values that I've learned from other people, from my team, that are very valuable and that can touch someone out there.
Mm. I mean, Tombi, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a wonderful interview in you just sharing your journey as a writer and, the reason why you wrote the book and the, impact that you hope it has on people that are reading it. So thank you so much for sharing your writing journey with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, too.
Viewers at home, that was an amazing interview and I really, really hope that you enjoyed that. But